I remember staring at my bank account, beating myself up over a $14 fast food run, kept thinking to myself, if I didn't buy that meal, maybe this would have never happened. My bank account wouldn't have gone into overdraft after I had an unexpected bill come through. Back then I blamed the meal, but the real problem was that I had zero breathing room in my budget. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, by the end of this video, you'll understand why you felt stuck and exactly what I would do to start building breathing room if I had to start completely over again. The problem wasn't that I used to be broke, it was that I had no room for error in my budget. It felt like I didn't make enough money, and at the time I kept telling myself if I could just make an extra $500 or find a better paying job, that it would finally be okay. Looking back, I don't think that was true. There's people making twice as much as what I was making back then that were still living paycheck to paycheck. The problem wasn't just my income, it was that I had no idea where my money was going. So because of that, I looked at my bank statements and it was easy to see that there's work to be done. You know, $22 going to fast food, $3 to almost everyday snacks. I ended up convincing myself to buy a new phone with payments that I didn't need. I was tired at that point of being stuck in the same loop, and I was ready to cut back on what I wanted and just to stick to necessities. That way I could finally get ahead. Making more money can help, but if you don't know where your money is going, a bigger paycheck can disappear just as quickly as the old one. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, your first goal shouldn't be becoming wealthy. Your first goal should just be creating enough breathing room so life stops feeling like one financial emergency after another. When you have margin, you have breathing room and you have room for growth. When I finally started creating margin, I didn't suddenly become rich. Instead, I could actually have some room to breathe, and unexpected bills weren't an emergency anymore, and payday stopped feeling like a race to see which bill I had to pay first. I started sleeping better, I was less stressed because I knew I had more options. That's what margin gives you. It gives you choices, gives you time to think instead of reacting, lets you save for opportunities instead of constantly recovering from emergencies. And eventually, it gives you the ability to invest, to plan for retirement, and maybe one day walk away from a job that you hate. Not because you have to, but because you can. You have the option. Now, I want to be honest with you, getting out of this cycle wasn't fun. There's days that I wanted to quit. There was days that I bought things that I knew I shouldn't have. Progress wasn't a straight line. The difference was that I didn't become perfect all of a sudden. The difference was that I stopped quitting after each small setback. I kept getting up again and trying and making improvements. Okay, so let's make this practical. If I found myself living paycheck to paycheck again, I wouldn't try to fix everything all at once. I'd start by playing defense. Create a little bit of breathing room for yourself, and then you can go on offense. So first thing, I look through the last 2 months of your bank statements, not to shame yourself, but just to get honest with yourself. See where your money's disappearing to. You can't change what you refuse to look at. Next, I would temporarily cut anything that wasn't essential. Not forever, but just long enough to stop the hurt and to create a little bit of distance between my income and my expenses. Then I'd build a small emergency fund, something like $1,000, to keep the next surprise from sending me right back into overdraft. And then once I had a small cushion, I'd start attacking high interest debt aggressively, because those payments are taking money away from every future paycheck. Then I'd shop around for cheaper insurance, phone service, subscriptions, and anything else that came out of your check every single month. Cutting those reoccurring bills is powerful because you benefit from that decision every single month, and you just have to do it once. So do what you have to do to live below your means so you have more income coming in compared to your expenses. With that, you'll be able to build margin, invest for the future, and not panic when something expensive comes your way. And then I would go into offense. After I had control of my spending, I look for ways to earn more, overtime, a better paying job, a new skill, or another source of income. Cutting expenses can create breathing room, but increasing income can create momentum. I want to leave you with one last thought. None of this happened overnight for me. There was days where I made good decisions and days that I slipped right back into old habits. There's weeks where it felt like I wasn't making any progress at all. And the difference wasn't that I became perfect. The difference was that I stopped quitting. If you're expecting your life to completely change after one paycheck, unfortunately, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you keep making one better decision every payday, you'll eventually look back and realize that you're not living the same life anymore. You're not building a budget because budgets are exciting. You're building breathing room. You're building peace of mind, and you're building options for yourself. You're building a life where an unexpected bill doesn't ruin your month. You don't have to change your life with the next paycheck. You just got to make one better decision, then make another. Eventually, those decisions become habits. Those habits create breathing room. And one day you'll realize you're no longer surviving. You're finally going to be moving forward. Okay, so remember, find where your money's going, build breathing room, protect it, and then increase your income, one step at a time. We talked about creating breathing room, but here's the thing, you can't create breathing room if you don't have a plan for every paycheck. So in the next video, I'll show you the simple budget that worked for me. If you're a hardworking person, striving to better your finances and to build personal wealth for yourself, please consider subscribing. I'm sharing my steps in my journey and every decision that I make along the way. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you guys have a great day.